done things a bit differently. My mother would tell me the story about how I would always crawl around on the top side of my hand with my fingers pointed toward my body instead of on my palm like a normal child, as you can see in this photo. And every time she would adjust it to what you would assume would be a more comfortable position for an infant that puts most of their weight on their hands and knees, I would immediately switch it back and continue crawling around. I'm not sure how this has impacted me as an adult, but I can say that I regularly find myself sitting in a chair with my hand comfortably placed on the top side beneath me. If anything, I've developed some pretty strong wrists as a result. My peers in elementary school can definitely testify to this from my performance on the tetherball courts at recess. Every day, instead of joining my girl classmates in the bathroom to try on fruit-flavored lip glosses and Bath & Body Works sprays, I would race to the blacktop for my chance to dominate that 20-foot diameter. I would use my height and my wrist strength to my advantage to dominate boys, girls, and teachers alike. Sports was always an integral part of my life from a very young age, and its impact has been long-lasting. It's contributed to my confidence, my competitiveness, and my tomboyishness. Case in point, I would always prefer overalls and flannels to dresses and skirts, and I would prefer to run around in my backyard climbing trees and chasing lizards than to play dress up or put on lipstick, unless it was on my little brother. I would always jump at the opportunity to join my dad on a fishing trip or a hiking adventure. Growing up in the Bay Area and now living in the Pacific Northwest, not much has changed. Around the age of 28, when most of my peers were settling into their careers in tech, which was the norm in Silicon Valley, I decided to opt out of everything that was expected of me. I just couldn't find any satisfaction in my job. I didn't like the direction of my path, and my dating life was meh at best. So, instead of continuing on this path, I decided to sell most of my possessions, quit my job, and book a one-way ticket to Europe. I didn't know for how long, but I did know that I'd rather spend my time wandering than to sit behind the desk of some company that barely knew me. Such a millennial, I know. That trip took me from the coastlines of Croatia, where I first experienced the pain of stepping on a sea urchin, to the mountains of Slovenia, where I discovered places I had never even heard of before, to countless other European destinations before I decided to venture to Central America, to Belize, where I crashed the most exciting wedding I've attended to date, to a lake in Guatemala that I've dubbed my future home, to further south where I trekked through Peru, and then finally, Colombia, where upon arrival, I naively followed a stranger through the forest and a thigh-deep river, fully clothed, to an exclusive hostel that turned out to be some tents next to the outhouse. Still, Colombia had a pretty strong hold on me, and I decided to stay for a while. It was there that a little startup gave me the opportunity to roll in content marketing that over the past 2 years has developed into the career that I have and absolutely love today. But that wasn't the only thing that came out of my adventure. One day, at a language exchange event in Medellin, I met a boy who was on vacation before starting his job at a place called Amazon. Mm-hmm. He arrived and we locked eyes. Well, really, he stared at me for an uncomfortably long amount of time before I decided to say hello. And everything just blossomed from there. He's the reason I returned to the US, the reason I moved to Seattle, and the reason I'm standing here right now. And I have the feeling he will be the reason for a few more things in my life down the line. Yeah. So, if there's anything that I've learned in my 31 years on this earth that a wise baby boomer hasn't already taught me, it's that doing things a bit differently can lead to some worthwhile experiences and a pretty exciting life.